So hello everyone, these sessions are recorded. Thank you for joining Career Innovations Job Seeker Q&A sessions. The sessions are uploaded to the YouTube channel, so for whatever reason that you're unable to make a session, or if you want to look for questions that may be more tailored to your needs, you can go to our YouTube channel. We have each video tagged for the question, so you can look in the description and look at the questions that will be answered in the video. So that prevents you from watching an entire video that may not be tailored to your needs. You can ask questions one or two ways depending on how you logged into the workshop. If you logged on and actually entered your audio pin, you can raise your hand and I can unmute your mic and you can verbally ask your question. For whatever reason that you don't want to ask your question verbally, you have the option of typing your question. I urge you to go ahead and type your questions down if you may have any on the top of your head. That way they can be answered immediately after the session. Again, when you sign up for this, you're encouraged to type your question prior to the workshop. That's how I'm able to put together these slides. You get a much more informed answer. If the answer requires research, we can actually do that. So that way when you sit into the Q&A session, you'll get more out of it versus an answer that we may be answering on the top of our heads. So we do encourage that you definitely send your questions prior to the workshop. That way we can again have more valid answers for you. Okay, I like to start off with the firm overview of Career Innovations. If this is your first time joining us, I usually give about a 30-second introduction of myself. I'm Bridget Baggett. I'm the founder of Career Innovations as well as the Director of Staffing and Recruiting. I find that we're true innovators in this space. One of my true passions is organizational development and change. I truly believe that an organizational culture starts with the company's core values. I think it's really the foundation for attracting and retaining top talent. Some of the things that we do, again, is our HR job seeker training, is what you're attending now. We also do compensation benchmarking, referral and retention workshops, as well as resume edits, cover letters, and also any type of portfolios you may need to market yourself. Today's quote, which I liked and I'm going to use again, is when obstacles arise, you change your direction to reach your goal. You do not change your decision to get there. And there are a lot of people that give up. And this particular quote lets you know that your goal never changes. Maybe the road to get to your goal may change, maybe the things you have to do to reach your goal, but you should never change your goal. If this is something that you really want to do, and this is pertaining to a job search as well, you should stick to your guns and find a way to get to your goal. So that's something that I really did like and wanted to use that quote again. Let's look at some of the questions that were asked or sent through prior to the workshop. We had 5 questions that I'm going to go through. Again, if you have a question, make sure you type it in. The first question was, is 35 too old to be an intern? Second question is, I'm currently a volunteer. When is a good time to ask for employment? I'm tired of working for free. Third question is, when is the best day to apply for a job or reach out to the employer directly? The fourth question is, what careers are the best for work at home option? And the fifth question is, what role does HR play in the hiring process? I never get a response after an interview. Well, first, for that question, you're at least getting interviews, so that's good. So we're going to touch on what happens after the interview. Let's first look at the first question. Is 35 too old for an internship? If I could just answer this with just one word, the answer would be no. I don't think you're too old for an internship if you were older than 35. Age at this point doesn't matter. The real question you should be asking yourself is, are you too skilled for the internship that you're offered? So if you are interested in an internship, maybe you're changing careers. You really didn't put that in the question, so I don't know. Maybe you're changing careers, you're going down a totally new path, and this internship is going to give you that experience. So if that's the case, no, you're not too old for that. So I don't think experience or exposure has a limit. So you definitely want to make sure that if you're looking at this internship, that it's meeting your needs. So my first objective I put up here was age shouldn't matter. And the second thing you need to ask yourself, are you too skilled for the opportunity? So if this is an internship that, your transferable skills would not be able to be applied to, and you're learning a whole new trade, that probably would be no. I'm not too skilled for this because this is an industry that's foreign to me. I have no experience. But if you're making some type of transition where this particular internship is very basic, but you at least had some type of mid-level exposure, you might want to start to look for either an entry-level or a mid-level career. Internships may not be the best for you at this particular stage. But then again, there's also other criterias that you have to look at as well. Because you may answer, I may be too skilled for this opportunity, but should I still take it? And that goes on to the opportunities which will lead from this internship. So that goes under opportunities. Will this internship lead to a permanent full-time employment? So even if you're too skilled for this opportunity, but you know that after I finish this internship, I'm guaranteed a position, that too skilled question goes out the window. You're guaranteed employment after this internship. So that's something that you have to weigh in on, the pros and cons. That outweighs the skill level that may take to do this internship. Next one is your goals. How does this internship align with your overall career goals? Is this going to put you in the right type of mindset and also put you in the middle of opportunities that will open up different doors? You also want to consider things that many people don't when they apply, especially when they're out of college. This may not matter, but for someone that's 35, you may want to consider these things. First of all is location. Do you have to relocate for this opportunity? The compensation, are you going to be getting paid? If not, how are you going to meet your financial obligations? That's something that you have to look at as well. The end result, besides exposure and experience, what would you gain from this internship? You may get connections. Again, this may lead to full-time employment. So you want to look at some of the goals that you're trying to get out of having this internship. So that's something that you do want to consider besides age. That should be the least of your worries. This is an opportunity that may open up many doors beyond this internship. That's something that you want to consider more than your age. And I think that you may have asked this question because someone may have mentioned something or said something to you, and I wouldn't worry about that. I would just make sure that the opportunity that you have is going to create other opportunities that you actually can, venture into after the internship. Next question was, I'm currently a volunteer. When is a good time to ask for employment? I'm tired of working for free. So you're volunteering and you want to find your volunteering position will lead to full-time employment. And that's a good question because you definitely want to make sure there's some type of end to this, especially if you're unemployed. I think the first thing going into this, you have to have some type of meeting of the minds, which means you need to have a clear understanding of your situation, and you want to make sure the people that you're volunteering for or the organization that you are getting this experience from understands your situation. There should be a clear understanding that you're unemployed and you're looking for full-time employment. And I say that because there are many people out there that volunteer that's not looking for any type of employment opportunities. They truly are volunteering because they want to. Maybe they don't have to work. I know people that are retired that now they just volunteer. So many people, especially in a volunteer position, may not know your situation. So the first thing I would do, or you should have done when you took this opportunity, is make sure you had a meeting of the minds. Next thing is use this as a networking opportunity, not just to speak with the people that you work with or other volunteers, but you also want to see that you understand and you're using this time to get to know the hierarchy of the organization. What I mean by that, you want to know the decision makers in the organization, the who's who. You want to know exactly who to reach out to when an opportunity becomes available, which means that you're going to have to know who the decision makers are in that organization. Who do I go to if there's an opportunity or a job that's posted online? You may not be able to get that from fellow volunteers. So that way, that's why I'm asking or I'm suggesting that you use this time to network and learn the organization and learn about who are the people inside this organization that makes the decisions. Next thing is you want to make sure you're being active. There's one thing of being a volunteer or being on that volunteer list or showing yourself once a month. In some cases, some may only request volunteers once a quarter. So how active are you? You know, if you really want to shine, take leadership positions that show off your marketable skills. You know, join committees. So this also is going to play a role in how marketable you are, and also going to play a role in what decision makers see. If you're a person that only volunteers once or twice a year, you know, that person that, you know, is hiring or looking for that employee to fill a position may, you know, overlook you because they don't know you. They only see you 2 times out the year. So you want to make sure that you're being active as well. And last but not least is ask for referrals. You know, the first, before asking for referrals, you want to make sure that you exhausted all your opportunities from this organization. So if there's no opportunities there, they're not hiring, the last thing you can do is ask for referrals. Ask them to make any type of suggestions of other organizations that you can join, other people that you can talk to, other organizations that are hiring. And if you're volunteering or you have been volunteering for a while, and everything I said that you said, you may be thinking, well, I've already done all of this. You know, if you're still not getting any type of traction, you want to start putting your efforts in other activities that are going to start generating results, which means that you may have to take time off from volunteering at this organization and start looking for other things that are going to generate successful results for you, which may not be volunteer work. You know, so that's something that you also have to, you know, take and believe and move forward with, because if you've been doing this, and I don't know how long you've been volunteering at this organization, but if you've been doing everything that I mentioned plus, and you still aren't seeing any type of results, that means that it's time to walk away. It's time to say, you know, I really like this volunteer opportunity. I may still do it, you know, but you may want to also start looking at other avenues that are going to generate some results to get you full-time employment. So that's my suggestion with that. The next question was, when is the best day to apply for a job or reach out to employers directly? And I've actually looked up some surveys. There were a couple out there. The one I looked at was a study that was completed by Bright. And I'm also going to mention another one as well that pretty much had the same results. So I went ahead and went with Bright because most of the research studies I saw pretty much had the same results that Bright did. So I went ahead and used them. They're saying the best day to apply for a job is a Monday. This is a new study out from Bright.com. They actually compared the timing and the success rates of job applicants. It turns out that Tuesday is actually the most common day of the week that most people choose to apply for jobs. However, this is not the most successful day to apply. You know, from this study, it shows that Bright defines the successful day to apply is actually a Monday. They said 30% of applicants who apply for jobs on a Monday made it through to the next round of the hiring process. And the reason why they say this, and I was kind of thrown off because I was like, well, Monday, it seems like, you know, they're coming and playing catch up. But if you're applying through an ATS system, it looks like that if you apply, most of the resumes that apply on Monday are on the top of the, I guess, on the top of the pile. These are the first resumes or the first applications that employers see. You know, so when they log in and a person that recently applied on a Monday, this is when hiring managers start to work their work week, you know, and this includes hiring. So if they see the application on a Monday, they usually go, and this is for anyone, they usually go for the easy access. You know, why dig at, you know, 123 applicant, 123, and I may have a good fit, you know, on number 2. So they're saying that your application or resume will actually be at the top of the stack on a Monday. They also said, according to data, recruiters are busy looking at resumes on Wednesdays and Thursdays, where nearly 40% of resume searches or CV searches are carried out on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Meanwhile, 34.5% of all applicants by job seekers take place those days. So that's Wednesdays and Thursdays. I don't know if I said Tuesday. 30% apply on Tuesday, but your success rate is about 20%. Fridays, however, the proportion of resume searches to applicants are high, with 2 resume searches per application take place on Friday. This compares to about 1.5 to 1.7 searches per applications for these days of the week. This suggests that Friday is the best day to grab a recruiter's attention because there's less competition from other people applying for jobs. So Friday is probably the best day to grab a recruiter's attention. They're saying Saturday turns out to be the worst day to apply. They said with only 14% success rate for candidates, so it's fortunate that only 5% of people actually apply to jobs on Saturday. I would think it was more than that. I'm thinking that people have time off, they're not at work, even with people that are gainfully employed that are looking to apply to jobs, I'm thinking that they may actually take Friday or Saturday, their downtime, to apply for jobs. But according to this survey, they're only saying that only 5% of applicants actually apply on Saturday. And they also say that, this makes it the worst day to apply. So the reason why I get Monday is the best day of the week, they said, because this is the first thing that's in the hiring manager's inbox. This is the first thing that they see. It all goes about what your schedule is. I don't know how accurate this is. This is a survey that was taken from a sample. So some of these numbers may be valid. Some of them may not be valid. Again, I think if you can reach out directly to the decision maker, that regardless of the day of the week, I think that's going to be more accurate, and you're going to get a higher success rate versus going off the days of the weeks that you apply. But this is a great tool or a great thing to know, but again, it's not written in stone because I think these numbers definitely fluctuate. So to answer your question, the best day is Monday, it seems to be, and they say the worst day is Saturday. So I hope that was able to answer your question. Working remotely, I actually used this slide from a previous session I did because it pretty much relates. Someone asked about best careers and work at home option. It really depends on what type of work at home option you're asking for. For 100% telecommuting position, that would be anybody that's a freelancer, anybody that's in IT. We're talking about, programmers, developers. I can pretty much see all of those being 100% remote. Anyone that's in blogging, marketing, social media coordinator, social media manager, I can see those being either 100% work at home or telecommute, or 80%, which means they may only come in one day a week. But again, this is something that always can be negotiated when you speak with your hiring authority, which means that regardless of your job, you can always fit in some type of flexibility to work at home. Again, this is industry based. You want to always know what type of job you're having, making sure that that option is actually practical, not just for you, but for the employer. So if you're working with any information that may be confidential, anything like that, they may not want you to have that type of access from your home. So you may actually have to come into the office. So you have to keep all this in mind when you're looking for positions that you can work at home. Again, these are some niche sites I put on the site the last time I had this slide. Definitely jot them down. We work remotely, flex jobs, telecommuter jobs, Telesource, Odesk, Elance, all of these jobs or all of these sources pretty much are niched for people that are looking to work from home. And again, last but not least, negotiate it. If it's something that's feasible and makes sense for the employer, make it part of your negotiation efforts. So if this is something that, hey, I don't think that this is something that I need to come in 5 days a week for. How about I come in Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays? Or how about I come in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and I can work from home Thursday and Friday? Friday. Definitely see if this is something that's negotiable. So that's something that you should also look for the employer to ask. And, many people don't think to put this in there. When they think about negotiating terms, they only think salary. There are many things that you can negotiate beyond benefits and salary. This is one of them. Your schedule, how flexible are they? So this is something that you definitely want to see if you can fit in. Next thing is the HR process. When this is I guess this person was applying to jobs and they asked how HR or what role does HR play in the hiring process. And I can tell you right now, after you apply, most of the time they're going to review your resume, and that's if it makes it past the parsing software, which means that after they look for those keywords, you're one of the top resumes that have the keywords they're looking for. You made it through the junk, and you're in front of a human person, whether it's an HR manager, a coordinator, or a recruiter. You're in front of someone that can push that resume to the hiring manager. More likely, they're going to set up a phone screen. Some may be a full-fledged phone interview. Some may be a simple phone screen. This is usually done to screen out things that may not be, relevant or may not be out on your resume that they can visibly see. This is usually done by the recruiter. They're looking for things to actually weed you out, in so many words. Does this person have the skill set to do this job? This resume says this, but let me talk to them and see if they can articulate what they've done in the past 5 to 10 years. So yes, the phone screen is necessary. After the phone screen and before the in-person interview, your resume is usually forwarded to the hiring manager if you are going to be considered, which means it leaves HR. It goes to that person that you'll actually be under, the person that you'll report to. So it may be the department head, it may be your director or your VP in that particular sector. They're going to look at that resume and they're going to determine whether or not they want to bring you in for an interview, which means that you'll have that in-person interview. HR does not make that decision. And I'll repeat that again. HR does not make that decision. They're more of an administrative role. They're out there seeking the person that closely fits that hiring manager's qualifications. Once they agree on bringing that person in, they will contact and somehow schedule an in-person interview that's going to be compatible with that hiring manager's schedule. So to answer your question, if you're not getting a call back after the interview, it may be the phone interview. That means they either screened you out or something happened with the position. And I've gone through reasons of what can happen to the position. The position can be put on hold. They can, they can have hired someone else, and there are companies out there that, do not respond back, or they hire someone, and unfortunately you can't really do anything about, etiquette far as, hey, if you made a hiring decision, let everyone know in the hiring process that this position's closed. It sounds like something that should be mandatory. It is not. So you definitely want to make sure the position hasn't been filled. If you've had that in-person interview, which means that you've already interviewed with the hiring manager, your resume's been forwarded to the director or the hiring authority, they say, yeah, I want to interview this person in person. They schedule the interview, you come in. After you interview and you don't hear anything back, that's when you should be reaching out for feedback. Either they haven't come to an agreement yet. This has happened. Either the hiring manager has not made a decision. Either they're actually looking to interview other applicants. Maybe you were not a fit. This can happen as well. After the hiring manager met you, interviewed you, they may not seem that you matched what was on your resume, or may saw that there were some discrepancies, or better yet, it just may have been nothing at all. Hey, I like this person better. It happens. Your qualifications may be fine. They may just have interviewed someone that they are a little bit more compatible with. So there's a lot of things and a lot of dynamics that are involved in this. So after the interview, my suggestion to you is to reach out to that HR manager or that coordinator, whoever set up that in-person interview, and ask them where you are in the process. What's the status? Has the position been filled? And they'll let you know if it's been filled or not. If it's been filled, thank you. And you can also ask for suggestions on, was it something that you were requesting that I didn't have, or, and ask for some type of feedback if it's applicable and why they didn't. And some people will offer it to you, hey, we found someone that had blah, blah, blah that you didn't have, or we found someone that we didn't have to relocate. Whatever the case may be, sometimes they'll let you know. If not, ask. So that's pretty much where HR stands in the process. So to answer your question, no, they do not make the hiring decision. They do not, pretty much tell who's going to be hired. That's going to be the responsible party as far as the hiring authorities. They are pretty much more the administrative side of things. They're the ones that keeping the process moving, setting up the interviews, weeding out the people that aren't qualified. They pretty much do that, but they're not the person that says we're going to hire this person, we're going to hire that person. That's going to be the hiring authority or the department head that makes that decision. They do have some responsibility of reaching out to you if a decision either has been made or you're no longer in the process. That's something that they do own or have some accountability for, which some do not do, unfortunately. And that's when you play the part of reaching out. Okay, we're at 7:30. I have the lines open for any questions that you may have. My contact information is attached in this on this slide. If you want to set up an appointment, definitely go to the website and click on schedule an appointment, and you can schedule an appointment, or you can shoot me an email with any questions that you may have. That's probably the best way to contact me, and from there we can set up a call. Usually if you call, I'm either out in the field or I have a meeting set up, and mostly you'll get my voicemail. So that's why I urge people either to set up an appointment in advance or shoot me an email in advance, so that way I can set up a time to either receive your call or make that call. So I'm going to open up the lines. If there's any questions, definitely type them below. I know I had one person that responded in the survey. They wanted a little bit more time for Q&A because sometimes I end exactly at 8 o'clock or I end a quarter till 8, and I probably leave only 10 or 15 minutes open. So today I wanted to make sure I left enough time open for any type of questions. So if you have any questions, raise your hand. I'll unmute your mic, or type your questions at the bottom and I will answer those questions. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad I could answer your question. I am getting a lot of thank yous. Thank you so much. Okay, I give somebody a little bit more time to type in their questions. And while you're doing that, one thing that I do want everyone to know, that your job search, it does take time. You have to build those relationships. Some of the questions that were asked are very good. Especially when you're putting together a plan, and I like the days of the week question about when's the best day to apply. Even though that's not written in stone, it shows me that you're trying to put together some type of plan that's going to be effective. Just by knowing that information, you're gonna be a little bit ahead of everyone else that may be applying. So I think that was a great question as well. So I'm glad that you guys are seeing the value in actually putting together some type of strategic plan for your job search. Okay, I don't see any questions coming in tonight. I don't know if we're going to end early. We're at 7:35. So if you do have any questions, definitely shoot me an email. Or, again, set an appointment. We'll go from there. I see that many people replied saying I answered their question. I'm happy I did. So I guess you guys didn't have any follow-up questions. That's fine. And again, we do this every Monday from 7 to 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. When you log off this workshop, there is a survey. Please take the survey. If you've already taken it, no need to, or if you have some suggestions that you'd like to put in there, you definitely can. But if you haven't taken the survey, please take the survey. Provide feedback on how to better our best, what we can do with future workshops, how we can make them better, or any questions that you'd like to see addressed in future workshops as well. Again, thank you for your time, and I will see you next Monday from 7 to 8 Eastern Standard. Have a good night.